I have to start by saying I was introduced to your teachings almost 2 years ago. Drastically changed everything about my life, about my character, about my beliefs. And what I want to do now is clean up my vibration about a few things.
Or not.
Okay.
And the reason we say that is because the vibration that's working is already cleaning up the vibration on the other things. It's the taking your attention from the things that aren't working that will best clean it up. Ooh. You know it. The more you talk about it, the bigger it gets. Now, we're willing to talk with you. We're happy to talk with you if you want to do a little of this, and we'll show you the way that we would approach it. We've been showing you for a long time that you can clean up a specific vibration by going general. But if you have some specifics that aren't working, and then the momentum takes you into more and more specifics, it just locks you more in. So by going general, that's our way of teaching you to back off from the specific. It's like detoxifying. It's like diffusing. Want to talk about something? We'll help you diffuse it.
Absolutely. And I feel like I've had to back off because it got so uncomfortable.
Well, isn't that a nice thing? Really, the thing that saves all of you is that you're fickle and you can't give your attention to one thing. Otherwise, it would take you out. But because you are distracted by so many other things, it keeps you from being like a dog on a bone on something that it does get bigger and bigger and badder and worse, doesn't it?
It did.
So that sort of explains our encouragement to stay off of those subjects as you can. But sometimes those subjects are in your face kind of subjects. In other words, it's a mother-in-law or someone that lives with you. We're not trying to find it here. We're just saying, she's saying, no, it's not that. No, it's not that. It's not that. So let's talk about it.
Okay, so I have a vision board and there are so many things on it, and I've experienced the feeling through meditation of, it's like, oh my God, I feel like I'm floating. This is wonderful. My body's moving and I'm not doing it. I don't know how this is going, but
yes,
it feels really good. So I understand that. I know that feeling, and I enjoy and appreciate that feeling. Now, this thing that I want has felt huge, and I had fun in the creating the idea. And so for specifics, I want a 6,000 square foot home. Okay. And I've got all these amazing reasons as to why this should happen.
Justification.
Yeah. Yes. And
explain your need to the universe. Yeah.
Right. And they're really good justifications.
Motivate the universe to give it to you.
I've been very clear with the universe.
Yeah.
And so,
worked with your mother, didn't it? If you became a big enough problem for her, she'd give up the goods sometimes, but the universe sees it differently.
Right. And so I had a lot of fun playing with the idea of drawing up this.
All right, now hear her words. I had a lot of fun playing with the idea. So when does it start feeling uncomfortable?
It started feeling uncomfortable when I started thinking about the money involved. It felt huge.
So talking about the money involved, you introduced resistance to the equation, and in doing so you slowed it. Now here's the thing, you see, you think that you have to figure out how and where and who, and if you just think about what you want and why you want it, the momentum will continue to build and show you the path to it. But when you get ahead of that, and instead of allowing the inspiration to come to you, you try to figure it out, then you introduce resistance that shuts this down. Are you following this? It has never been your action that is making the big things happen. It's always been your alignment to this big energy that creates worlds that makes the big things happen. And so often, that's why most people are living very mediocre lives, because they can only let in what they can allow through their action, and their action is so limited in relationship to this energy that flows. So you can feel your guidance is showing you that when you try to make it happen, that's when you introduce resistance into the equation. And does it make sense to you? Not just from what we've said to you just now, but what we've been saying in the room all morning here. Does it make sense to you that if you can just stay in satisfaction? So here's the big question. It's not such a big question. It's something that takes a little practice to be able to do. Because the formula is satisfied with where I am and eager for more. So satisfied here and eager for this. So what's the house like that you're living in?
It's about 1,800 square feet. It's nice. It's warm. It's full of love. It's great.
All right. So that focus keeps the door wide open to what you're reaching for. What else about it?
It's exactly what I wanted. I totally envisioned that one.
Yes.
I knew that that was my home when I put my hand
All
on
right.
the
So far, so
doorknob.
good. Yes.
Yeah, it
Everything
feels
she's
good.
saying, wide open. There's no resistance. What else?
And even as of late, last Monday, I even got to go and play in a 6,000 square foot home and shoot a photo session.
Yes.
And I felt like this was my house.
All right. So far, so good.
And so I just keep playing with it. And I decided today after this, I'm going to go and play on the lot and take pictures and have a lot of fun on the lot. And so I guess schedule
and
some
more about the
meetings.
house. Talk to us more about the house.
So it's big, it's beautiful. It's 2 offices, it's 4-car garage, it's the studio apartment over the garage.
All good. That's all good. Keep talking.
Yeah. So it's
So now go home.
go home. Mm-hmm.
Talk to us about home. How many offices there?
None.
How many cars in the garage? How many?
2.
Yeah. And so is the dreaming making this feel like not enough? Well, then on your way you are.
Okay.
If you don't move so fast that you feel dissatisfaction where you are, that's the key. If whatever you're doing keeps the satisfaction with where you are alive and well, then it's unfolding. But if what you're doing then brings a feeling of dissatisfaction, then something else is going on.
Home feels wonderful, and I don't have any issues with the current home. I love it. I still enjoy the space. I don't even intend to sell it.
All right, so now how does she feel right now? Aligned. Does she feel different than her first statement? Yeah. So you focused on it, and with our influence and our stubborn insistence and your awareness of what we wanted to hear from you, you said all the right things. The thing that we really want to say to all of you is that the universe is not responding to your words or your behavior. The universe is responding to how you feel. And that's why you got to find a way to be satisfied. And that's the balance. That is the balance. You know, you are wonderful to observe, because when you have a desire that you don't quite believe and you feel the discord of it, there's a dissatisfaction that is obvious to you. When you don't reach so far and there is no dissatisfaction, then the desire factor is a little gimpy. If you've got too much to do, you're overwhelmed, and so you set everything aside and then you get bored. And then because you're bored, you reach for more, and then you get overwhelmed, and then you're overwhelmed, and so you give things up or you stop doing, and then you get bored. Well, that's not really staying in balance. That's just sort of going from one extreme to another, from overwhelmment to boredom, from overwhelmed to boredom. This is different. When you find yourself from meditation in that place of satisfaction, because there's no resistance that's hindering anything, and then the thoughts begin to flow, then you feel exhilaration as it's unfolding without needing to make that last leap. When you've gotten ready to be ready, to be ready, to be ready, to be ready, and you're right on the brink of the manifestation, then the manifestation just feels like the next logical step. Then that impulse is so the next logical step that there's no second guessing. You go buy the Mercedes, there's no second guessing. But if it doesn't feel like the next logical step, if it feels like a big step, then you're not quite ready. So just stay ready to be ready, to be ready, to be ready, to be ready a little longer. You've said things to yourself, or your society has formulated expressions about it, getting the cart before the horse. Esther's father used to say, don't get ahead of yourself. You know the situations. Don't jump too soon. Jerry's philosophy was, don't let your business get bigger than your business. Don't behave differently than everything can comfortably support it. Don't let your business get bigger than your business. And so in Abraham words, we would say, allow the vibration of your connection to be the most important thing, and then enjoy everything that follows from tending to that. And you don't need to worry. Sometimes you worry a little bit that what we're teaching you is to just be complacent or satisfied with where you are. And you fear, because you've been action oriented for so long, you fear that what you're actually saying to the universe is, well, universe, I don't really want that, so don't bother about me. But that's not what you're doing. By being satisfied with where you are, you're allowing all the doors to be open so that you can follow the impulse. And you know, when you allow yourself to be the receiver of the thought, so that you are the one who receives and turns the vibration into the manifestation, that's the only place that satisfaction will ever come from. You will never be satisfied when somebody else does it all and hands it to you. That's not satisfying to you. The satisfaction is you molding the energy that creates worlds into the clay of the things that you want. Satisfaction will only come to you once you've put plenty into your vortex, and once you've lined up with it, and once you've let the thoughts turn to things and the impulses have come, and you've watched yourself mold the clay. Oh, that's where the big satisfactions are, you see. You heard that, didn't you? This is a really good time for a segment of refreshment.